drop-in ace for Michaela Martinez.
No score here in the top of the third. Swing on the outside.
Old for El Dorado right before we came back with that big play. He's going to the corner. He's wide open. It's a touchdown to Omar El Shanawi.
But it was as good as anything that I've seen, and I can't tell you how long. Good game after insane game after unbelievable game, all going on at the same time on different screens. And if you sat around and you watched it all and took it in, it was impossible. And then there was the baseball that you were trying to catch up on, and maybe you saw the fight, and maybe you were throwing United on a phone somewhere. It was insane. And we're here to talk about all of it, including another crazy day in the National Football League. How do you feel about the last place team in the AFC West? It's kind of bizarre. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, what's good?
What'd it do? Coming
off of maybe I don't know, as good a football weekend as I can recall, and I know I'm sitting here on Monday, but the games yesterday were intriguing. They always are. Sunday's games are always good. The Saturday games, as you sat through and watched Ole Miss, Arkansas, and OU, Texas at the same time with those finishes, A&M, Alabama at the end, Michigan and Nebraska at the end, with Penn State, Iowa in there, Boise State beating BYU, probably involved with the Lobo game at San Diego State, and the Aggies maybe at Nevada, and oh, yeah, the baseball's going on, and flip it over to the baseball. I mean, how many screens did you have?
Always two.
Two?
Two. Going at some point in time.
Yeah, I had three, and so I was flipping back and forth on the one. So I split the big screen, right? And so I had the Dodgers on the right, flipping the game over here on the left, and then on the computer it kept going, from the LSU game to whatever game that ESPN Family Network would let me go on the ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
So at least three, but then flipping and probably watching 6 or 7 at one time. It was, and I couldn't tell you which I think was the best. We got a lot to do. We got a ton to get through. We got yesterday's NFL to get through. The Bills really making a statement last night on Sunday Night Football in Kansas City, not only beating the Chiefs, but really beating them badly. And it was impressive what they did both offensively, but I think you expected that. Defensively, they really, really stymied Pat Mahomes and those receivers. And they said, all right, we're going to take away Hill and Kelsey, and let's see if you can beat us elsewhere. I thought what they did was insanely good last night.
Watching Buffalo last night reminded me of Kansas City. Like an offense that is ridiculously explosive, can beat you in different ways. And the way that they played Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, it frustrated him. And Mahomes looked like a dude that isn't invincible. And you can say, well, yeah, they've lost games this year, but Mahomes hasn't looked average.
Yeah.
And he looked average last night. There were bad throws, wasn't connecting, wasn't taking stuff underneath. They're still trying to make the big play multiple times down the field. And even with Tyreek Hill dropping footballs, it was a rough night for Patrick Mahomes. And that was my biggest takeaway. Is like, man, Buffalo looks like the team we thought Kansas City, the team that Kansas City has been over the last few years. And that was a huge statement on the road. And it's also just a reminder that this Kansas City team, as awesome as the offense is, it's one of the worst defenses in the league.
One night, and so I don't want to completely make a blanket statement, but the Bills, after losing that weird game in the opener to Pittsburgh on a block punt, where that's the only touchdown Pittsburgh scored. I think what's impressive about Buffalo to me is their defense. We all thought that they would be good offensively. Josh Allen continues to improve. He continues to get better. He's got weapons. Diggs is good. Dawson Knox has become terrific for him. Those two running backs have been good. I think we went into the season saying who's going to run the ball for them. Well, is it Singletary? Probably was the guy. Moss has become a horse for him at the end. He can catch the ball, and then you added Emmanuel Sanders to that mix and what they have, and I understood what they were going to do offensively. I think defensively is what's so impressive about what they're doing.
Yeah, and it wasn't like some exotic pressure. It was, all right, we're going to rush usually with 4. I don't think they blitzed Patrick Mahomes once last
Well,
night.
they had
Looking
to.
at the stats from the game, they said drop back, we'll double Tyreek Hill, and that seems to be when teams have their best success against Kansas City is when you take Tyreek Hill out of the mix from having one of those 182 touchdown games.
Like Devontae Adams had yesterday in the Packers game. All right, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to open it up. 505-246-0610. It's where we are. Stephanie's in producing today. Marie's got the day off. So Stephanie, by the way, welcome back, and it's good to see you. Been a minute since you've been back there. Adrian's producing on the TV side. You can watch the show on channel 20.5 over your TV with rabbit ears on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, or go to the YouTube channel of ProView Networks. Danny Gonzalez at 8 o'clock. Lobos got beat 31-7 in Carson by the Aztecs. They did not score an offensive touchdown, and Terry Wilson got hurt. So now what? We'll get into that. 8 o'clock, Danny will be with us. Nevada beat the Aggies 55-20. Did you watch any of that?
I did.
So they come out, they make a stop. They move down, they miss a field goal. Then they make a stop. Then they score a touchdown. Then they pick off Carson Strong. I'm watching it going, damn. Like, they look good for about a quarter. And then the faucet just opened up on them and they got blued out the build because all of a sudden Carson Strong looked really, really comfortable in the pocket. But, I mean, there was for the first quarter, did they get your interest? Because they got mine.
Yes, they were up 7-3.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But guess what? They covered.
They did cover.
Backdoor cover,
No,
baby.
that's right. They did it. 55-28 was the number. And we sat here on Friday and said best chance to cover Lobos or Aggies, and we both thought the Aggies would cover. That was a big number. And you felt pretty good about it when they were winning.
So it was 31-7 at halftime.
Yeah, I know.
Wait a second.
I know.
That changed very quickly.
Yeah, and Doug Martin will be with us tomorrow. Lobos 31-7. Look, this is, I mean, dare I say, it's just not a good offensive football team. And I don't know where, well, I do know where it starts. Now where do you go? I don't know what the extent of Terry Wilson's injury is. Maybe Danny will give us a little bit of an update when he speaks with us at 8 o'clock this morning. But watching him come off the field with that, it looked like an elbow.
Dislocated elbow.
Yeah. And so it's his non-throwing elbow. How quickly can he return? If he doesn't, who is your quarterback? Is it Trey Hall, who has been used as a slot receiver? Is it C.J. Montes? Is it Isaiah Chavez? Like where do you go? And Danny's going to probably not tell us that he's made a decision, but I'm going to guess he's got an idea what he's going to do if, in fact, Terry Wilson can't go against Colorado State, who, by the way, pummeled San Jose State this weekend and played Iowa pretty tough, and now Iowa looks really good.
At Colorado State, how quickly they've gotten things back on track is very surprising. And they just field goal opponents in a submission. 6 made field goals against San Jose State. Defensively, they played well. Nick Nash wasn't able to get it going like he was the prior week against New Mexico State. And Rams come in with 10 straight wins against the Lobos on deck.
Yeah, and you're going to hear about that this week. And it's actually a big deal. And I thought this was one of those games that maybe the Lobos were going to be able to get. But I just, it goes back to what I was saying last week. The reason that I thought San Diego State, if I was going to have to bet that game, I would have laid the 19.5, is just because how are the Lobos scoring points? And I watched that game, and it was so frustrating, right? There were some good things that they did defensively. Jeff, they gave up 31 points. Well, yeah, 24-1. They gave up 31 points. And if you watch the game, you said, well, there were some good things they did. I thought Joey Noble played well. San Diego State's good defensively, and so I understand that. But now I'm looking back at the last bunch of games and saying, okay, they scored nothing in 10 quarters. They've scored no offensive touchdowns in 10 quarters. And JJ, that's a real issue, and it's about the offensive line. But again, I heard Don Trell talking about it in the postgame show, and I know you did too. You know, his concern about playmakers. Who are the guys who are making plays? And it's got to be someone besides your quarterback. Your quarterback looked frustrated. I know we're going to.
Well, they scored a touchdown against Air Force.
They did score an offensive touchdown. Yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right. There was the Trey Hall touchdown at the end of the game.
The
Yes,
only
yes,
one
yes,
touchdown.
Yes. My bad. I'm completely wrong on that. There was a Trey Hall touchdown at the end of the game. But like Don Trell said, you know, who's making plays? We're going to hear people rip on Terry and say it should be over. And again, I'm going to go back to I don't care who's back there. And he looks like he's forcing things. He looks frustrated. He looks like he's almost expecting the worst at times, doesn't he?
Yes. And this is one that Terry Wilson just has never had a chance to get going. And you can be a good quarterback and come in and be in the middle of a struggling offense, and you're not going to go out there and make everything look great. Because we didn't expect the offensive line to be this bad. We thought, all right, you come in, you have Andrew Erickson, Manny Logan Green, at least a solid running game. Let's see if you can take a step forward. And the offensive line has been well below average. The receivers have been in and out of the lineup. And we're talking about a game at San Diego State, which is a very good defense. And you're like the three players you're relying on the most are all true freshmen. And yet everyone still wants to just trash Terry Wilson and put this on him. Well, he's a Kentucky guy. Well, you don't win games at Kentucky if you're not good either. Like, so there's an element of Terry Wilson hasn't been the player that we expected him to be, but the offensive around him has been worse than we thought it was going to be.
Terry Wilson's a good quarterback. Terry Wilson hasn't, to your point, been given a chance. He just hasn't. Now, has he played incredibly well? No, he hasn't. And I watch him now, and I feel like he's, I don't know if timid's the right word, but certainly gun-shy, rushing things, expecting the worst, whether that's consciously or subconsciously. Lobos had 193 yards of total offense. They ran the ball for 66 yards. I thought Aaron Dumas looked actually pretty good at times running the ball. Bobby Cole didn't play in the first half. He was out because of the targeting from the game before. They threw for 127 yards. Terry was 13 of 25 for 127. On the other side, I mean, they only gave up, 336 yards. I think that's about – what do you go into as a defense hoping to give up in a game? I mean, is there a goal? Would it be somewhere in that area, 330? In a college football game today? I mean,
I have no idea.
200, I guess, would be, wow, you played a really good game. You kept them at 300 total offense. They ran for 203 yards. Greg Bell's real. Transfer from Nebraska, who's terrific. He's a hard runner. He had 111 yards and a touchdown. And then their quarterback scored 2 touchdowns himself. Brookshire did.
He was a lot better out of the pocket than I thought he was.
Yeah. By the way, they're one of only 13 teams in America still undefeated. That's who got beat by 31-7. Yeah. Okay? You lost to a good football team. But it's frustrating. We'll talk with Danny coming up at 8 o'clock. We'll get through the college stuff, which was amazing. The baseball, which has gotten really, really exciting. The NFL slate, which was fantastic yesterday. You can get in on the fight. How about that way? Tyson and Fury to end a trilogy. As both of those guys were just beating the living stuffing out of each other, knocking each other all over the canvas on Saturday night. United 1-1 draw out at the ball pitch on Saturday. That one hurt as well. Go anywhere you want. We've got to get into the John Gruden stuff. There's a ton to do. Steph is producing for you. 505-246-0610. Come on in and send me an email. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or send it to JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Fellas, how you feeling? How you living? You living good? You living like you? You living like you want to? I hope you are. Hope you're feeling well, bouncing around. But if you're not feeling like you, if you feel sluggish, tired too often, maybe put on a few extra pounds or you're even dealing with erectile dysfunction, may I strongly suggest you call NuMale. NuMale is a men's health clinic here in Albuquerque who's been helping men all over the country deal with these natural things for years. NuMale has got industry-leading testosterone replacement, and it's got men feeling like themselves again. Here's the number, 505-652-1688, or you can visit them online. It's NuMale, NuMale.com. You're going to feel better. I told you this story recently. A buddy told me that he heard me talking about it on the radio. He called NuMale, made an appointment, and he thanked me because he's feeling way better. Guys, the beauty is the results. It works, and there are thousands of stories out there like my friends. You got nothing to lose and a whole lot to gain by calling 505-652-1688. That's 505-652-1688. As you head into the back end of this year, the most hectic time on the calendar, take care of yourself. Do it for you. NuMale, 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and feel like you again.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavez Sr., proud owner, operator of Lobo Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.lobo.
Sports Animal.
And we're back to a New York state of mind. Giants lose in Dallas. They lose their quarterback. Boy, Daniel Jones got crunched. Jets go to London, get beat by the Falcons, who actually look like they've got an offense all of a sudden. They're utilizing Cordero Patterson and Mike Davis, and they did it without their top 2 receivers in Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage. And they still were. I mean, did you watch any of that? Did you get up early enough to watch that? The Jets and Falcons.
Forgot about it.
Okay, so I got up just because, well, I had fantasy impacts because I had to decide who's playing and who's not, and I watched it. And Falcons, and maybe it's just because the Jets are bad, but the Falcons' offense looked nice. But the Jets are back to losing, and so are the Giants. 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Stephen, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Stephen.
Good morning. What an unbelievable weekend of sports. I may have to watch Sex and the City for 5 days. My poor wife really let me watch sports this weekend. But I wanted to call and talk about baseball first because I know inevitably you're going to have those callers and say how bad the Rays got screwed last night. And I want to walk you through a little bit of history here on what happened.
That ever happened before?
know if you saw the 13th inning.
Yes.
The Rays supposedly got screwed out of a run.
10th inning.
And I would be upset because it's a weird rule in baseball. A ball bounced off of the center fielder into the over the fence, and it was called a ground rule double.
Right.
A runner would have scored.
Yep.
It would have been 5-4.
That's correct.
But if you look at what happened after that, the next batter struck out. That ended the inning. J.D. Martinez hits a fly ball. Center field is out. Next batter walks, and the next batter hits a 2-run home run, which it wouldn't have mattered the 1 run anyway. It would have been 6-5. So I don't want to hear it. The Red Sox deserve to win that game. Christian Vasquez is my hero right now. What an unbelievable shot from a catcher. Just to blast that over that green monster. And so I don't want to hear from these people that said the Rays got screwed. They did get screwed out of a run, but ultimately it wouldn't have mattered.
All right, man. Stephen, it's an interest, and let me walk people through it, and I appreciate the call. So did that happen in the same inning? I thought it happened in the 10th. So I wasn't watching the game. I was watching football, and
it was the top of the inning.
It was so they would have got unless, I mean, who knows what they would have. Yeah, the next guy struck out, so it would have been to the inning. Fly ball, right field, runner on first base. Runner with 2 outs is run on the crack of the bat. He's going to score. Ball hits the wall, hits the right fielder, goes over the 4-foot fence into the bullpen. So instead of the runner scoring, it's ruled a ground rule double, and by rule on a ground rule double, runners only can advance 2 bases. Now, the only question I have on that is do the umpires have a discretion to see where the runner was when the ball went out? Right? Sometimes they're really cut and dry. Ball hits down the line, 1 bounce goes into the seats. It's a double. Everybody goes 2 bases. I have seen it before where balls have gone out of play where the umpires have a discretion and it's 2 bases from where the runner was when the ball went out of play. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Does he have a discretion on that?
I would assume so, but at that point in time, they just went straight ground rule double, 2 bases for everyone.
Get out of the dugout and go back to third.
Back to third.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that. As much as you watch sports, I've never seen
Even in Rays manager Kevin Cash after the game wasn't distraught about it. He said ultimately that ruling of a ground rule double is correct, and they made that decision just to go to 2 bases.
And you gave up 2 in the bottom of the inning, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Yeah. The baseball's been good. Astros get beat last night. They were trying to close out the White Sox 12-6. So that series is now 2-1. They'll play at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And the Red Sox are going to try to close out the Rays tonight after winning 6-4. That game is in Fenway today. Also today, Dodgers and Giants go back to Los Angeles. Series tied 1 game apiece. And the Braves and Brewers go back to Atlanta, 1 game apiece. So you got a 4-pack today, plus Monday Night Football, which is Indianapolis and Baltimore tonight. So you got a 4-pack. So as he's saying, I typically on a Saturday night would have gone over to Audra's and we'd have flipped around and watched. And she's been really good. Like last night, she set me up with a computer and an iPad, and they watch. Her cousin's in town. Her sister's living with her, so they watch a movie. And I sat right there, and she set me up with 2 screens, and I was able to watch. Saturday night, like they were watching whatever the Halloween movie they were watching. And I'm like, look, man, there's
too much going on.
I mean, honestly, Saturday night was nuts. Saturday with the Lobos game, the Aggies game, the Dodgers going on. And then all the other
Alabama, Texas
A&M going down to the wire, number 1 losing. And the
who was that
game.
team that Alabama played?
So
that did not look like the team the Lobos played.
Well, it didn't look like the team that Mississippi State played or Arkansas played the last 2 weeks.
Anyone.
A&M beats them, and so you sit there and think, all right, Alabama's out, but they're not, because Alabama still, with their 1 loss, controls their own fate in the SEC West. And if they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game, you're going to get those same 2 teams that you were talking about anyway, Georgia and Alabama, right? Because Alabama will have 1 loss and be the SEC champion, and Georgia would have been number 1 in the country, and would have. I mean, the Clemson loss has a little luster knocked off of it, but they're still. I mean, don't you expect Alabama to still be there at the end?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to see them get beaten and to have a little.
Because then they can be like, "Hey, look, we got to win over the number 1 team in the country."
That's right.
In the SEC.
It's 100% right. It's 100% right. Look, there were some things, really interesting things that happened the other day. All right, really interesting things. Iowa beating Penn State was big. Iowa's number 2 in both polls. Oklahoma holding on. Did you watch the beginning of the OU Texas game? Texas returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Got a turnover. They were up 14-0 before the hot dogs had mustard on them, and they were up by 21. OU pulls Spencer Rattler. They go to the backup quarterback, and it comes back and turns that thing around and wins it with 2 big runs off the left tackle going away. So that game was insane. And then Michigan winning at Nebraska and pulling that out. Nebraska's like the Chargers. They just find a way to lose, although the old Chargers. And then Cincinnati moves up to 3 and 4 in the polls. So your AP poll is Georgia, Iowa, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, if it means anything to you, and Georgia, Iowa, Oklahoma, Cincinnati in the coaches poll. Ohio State's moved all the way up to 6, and then you got Michigan, Penn State 7-8, depending on which poll you're in, and then Michigan State's sitting right there at 9. So Cincinnati right now is in a position. If the polls mean anything, I'm not sure they do. We're a couple weeks away from the college football playoff standings.
That one matters.
Yeah, that's the one that matters. Yeah, that one matters. These ones not so much. Just watching the games, even Boise State. Did you watch Boise State BYU?
Yes.
Where'd that come from?
Told you.
Yeah, you
where
did.
it was going to come from.
You did.
BYU's good. They're not great.
Yeah.
That's not shocking. And
Boise
you look at
State had lost 3 games.
You look
already?
at the way they lost those games. They weren't bad. They turned over the football, which was bad.
Yep.
But you don't turn over the football. You take advantage of BYU's mistakes.
I would tell you, I would have
When
thought
on the road.
that BYU was better than some of the teams that beat Boise State, Oklahoma State, Central Florida. I think maybe even at Nevada. Right? And then you're going there, and the weather's bad, and it's raining, and you took care of the football. And Boise State played a physical football game against BYU. You think of BYU and the older guys and the big line that they've got. Boise State went in there and punched them in the mouth and played a really physical football game against them. No, I put so many miles on my couch this weekend. Got up early. I was at Balloon Fiesta, Steph. Jared gave me a call on Friday afternoon. Hey, can you do me? So I was honored to be there with Juan Velasco.
Yes, I saw.
That's
your
right,
Facebook,
me and Juan Velasco. We did Balloon Fiesta over on KKOB from 5 to 7, and then they had the Metro Championships, the cross country. Which, by the way, when we talked to Sebastian on Wednesday, how do they screw that up? They don't have team scores.
What?
They screwed up the scoring. Like we think, at the Academy girls think they won. They finished like 5, 7, 9, mid-teens, and then like 21. She had a great race, by the way. But yeah, and then I came home, and I rode the couch for hours. I put miles on that. It needs a tune-up. Just telling you what. It was Saturday was a day. 505-246-0610. Danny Gonzalez is going to be with us coming up at the top of the hour. We'll talk about the Lobos' 31-7 loss. Try to get you an update on their quarterback, Terry Wilson. And look ahead. Here comes big bad Steve Adazio of the Colorado State Rams.
Well, when you have a weekend, you're putting that many miles on the couch, you need to carve out 45 minutes to get back on track. And you can do that with F45 training. High-intensity interval training, full-body functional fitness. Class available 7 days a week, so you can find that time, whether it's during the week or the weekend, to get in, catch up. And whether you're looking to get back on track or you're someone that wants to challenge yourself to get to another level, F45 training has the workouts for you because of the way they're set up. You can go big if you want, or you can start small and then work your way up with the programs from strength training to cardio training. But it's all full-body functional fitness, so you're not doing just one thing for 45 minutes. The classes are a lot of fun. They do switch them up every couple of weeks to keep pushing forward. They just got some new equipment in over the last couple of weeks as well at F45 training, so you're going to be set when you go in. You don't have to worry about not getting your workout in, what you're going to do. It is all right there for you. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today. You can sign up for your 7-day free trial, book your class, get in, and get going. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Bills. I don't know if it was the Falcons. I don't know if it was the Saints. Maybe it could have been the Steelers salvaging their season. I feel for the Lions. I will tell you that. I feel for the Lions. They're the first team in the history of the league to get beat on 50-plus yard field goals as the last play of the game twice in a season. It's only week 5. I thought they had a nice drive at the end of the game. DeAndre Swift scores the touchdown. They go for the 2-point conversion to win instead of tie. They have a celebration, and they forgot that there was 20-something seconds left for Kirk Cousins to come down the field and get a field. I feel for them. Are they the best 0-5 team you've seen? I mean, they're not horrible, but they don't win.
They don't win.
They don't win. 505-246-0610. Come on in. Eric, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Hey, good morning, you guys. How you guys doing today?
Excellent. How you living?
Not too bad. Hey, so how surprised were you about Utah Utes beating USC yesterday? Saturday?
I guess more so how badly they beat them.
How bad, exactly.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised they beat them. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised anybody beats SC right now. I'm surprised.
Understandably, but how badly got beat.
I was texting with a buddy of mine who's a LSU fan during that game, and he's disgusted with LSU, and I get it. And I said, what's worse right now? What's a worse position of these mighty? Is it LSU or is it USC?
I'd say LSU.
Why?
Because LSU has been relevant the last, decade?
Well, they won a national championship 2 years ago, yeah.
Has it? Second of all, this whole John Gruden thing has really, it's blown out of proportion. It's 11 years ago. He's apologized. It wasn't racist. Honestly, is it only African Americans, or I should say Black Americans, I should say, that have large lips? I mean, I was teased. I'm Hispanic. I was teased my whole life about my lips, to the point where my nickname was Guppy my entire childhood life. And it's not that big of a deal. It was 11 years ago. Let it be. The only reason why I can say it's a distraction is because people keep talking about it. I mean, it was 11 years ago. Can you remember everything you did 11 years ago that was smart, or I should say not smart, that you've done? I mean, we all have regrets, but still, this has just been beyond what it should have been. It's been blown out of proportion. He apologized about it. I just don't, personally, I don't see that big of a deal. I could understand if he went as far as saying, something else that actually, was a big dig, but not like this.
All right. No, Eric, I appreciate the call. And so let's go there. So John Gruden, evidently 10, 11 years ago. Let me set the stage for you. The Wall Street Journal is investigating the Washington football team for all the program, all the issues they've had internally in their organization. And so
the NFL is.
The NFL is. That's right. The Washington or the Wall Street Journal got this email. The NFL is. And so they're going through, I guess there were 7,000 emails. And this one email leaked to the Wall Street Journal. And in the email, it was from John Gruden to the owner, Bruce Allen at the time, right, of the Washington football team, then the Redskins. And he was just talking about DeMaurice Smith. DeMaurice Smith is an African-American man. He is the head of the Players Union. This was during the labor issues, and said that DeMaurice Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires. Okay. Obviously a racist trope that is often used in regards to African-American people is their lips. Gruden apologized, said he didn't remember, said that he refers to people who lie as being rubber-lipped, and said he doesn't remember it, but he apologized, and he says he's sorry. There's a lot here. First of all, to Eric's point, it absolutely can be taken as a racist trope, and he said it's not, and I understand.
Well, you can't also compare what was going on when you were a kid with other kids to a man in a professional setting that sent an email to an NFL general manager.
At the time, the setting was he was with ESPN. He was Monday Night Football commentator. So I think there's a lot to this. I find it really, really interesting that the only email that was leaked to the Wall Street Journal was this.
Yep.
I'd love to know the context. I'd love to know what else was going back and forth. Obviously, John Gruden felt comfortable sending that to Bruce Allen, right?
Yes.
And now what? It really, so Eric, and I appreciate where you're coming from, but it's not for you to determine. It's for the players in that locker room to determine. They know John Gruden. Now, I will tell you this. I've heard a lot of things about John Gruden, and I heard Keyshawn Johnson go off on this. Keyshawn Johnson had his problems with John Gruden. He hates him. And he's, here I am 10 years later, and I was the problem. But I've never heard racist issues with John Gruden. Have you ever heard any whispers about it? You don't survive that long in the National Football League.
Well,
no, you don't. You just don't. Leading men and leading a locker room that is made up demographically like those locker rooms are, if you're racist. Do you? How do you last that long?
This is one where, for John Gruden, listening to his players, whether it was Josh Jacobs or Derek Carr, some of the audio that's been played after the fact, it caught them by surprise. They didn't feel that way. But this is 100% one you can't brush under the rug. And I thought the way John Gruden tried to handle it is not going to make it easier on himself.
Yeah, after the game yesterday?
I apologize. I'm done talking about it. No, you're not done talking about it.
You don't get to make that
like
call.
That. This is, you made a comment about a person's appearance, whether he was black, Asian, white. You went there, And so it has to be addressed and talk about, well, was that the only time you did it? And why are you so comfortable doing it in that setting to an NFL general manager? That's what he has to address.
Yeah, you don't get to make the call when this conversation's over. I get it that you've been in control. You don't get to control the situation. The men in that locker room will go a long way in deciding when that conversation ends. Now, it may be the same conversation over and over. And you may be tired of talking about it. And honestly, I believe it was a distraction. They got pumped yesterday, 20-9 by a Bears team that I don't think is as good as them. Do you?
I didn't think they were going in that game.
Do you think that had anything to do with it? The preparation, the distraction? I think distractions are a bigger deal than you do. But do you think that has something to do with the way they played yesterday? Because they played horribly yesterday.
Back-to-back weeks, too.
Yeah.
Struggled.
Yeah. So I look at it, and where does it go? Do you think he survives this?
See, I do. I think that he's probably facing maybe a fine.
Okay.
Or something for...
Certainly something's coming from the league. Absolutely. Yes.
Because he's still, while he was employed by ESPN at the time, there's an element of he's still representing the league as a Monday Night Football commentator. And now being an NFL coach, just because it was 11 years ago doesn't mean that it's like, oh, is it the statute of limitations? Like, this is different. Like, he's not going to jail.
Yeah.
But he still has to address it as a coach in the NFL and a public figure.
So I think what's going to be very, very telling is the response of his players. Not from you or me or Eric. It's going to be from the response of his players. And more so his current players. I get it, Keyshawn Johnson is a very verbal person who's got a big platform on ESPN. I never liked him. And Keyshawn's going after him, and I get it. His point is he's just not a good dude. Okay? He says, I can't, I heard him say, I played for him, I won a Super Bowl with him. I can't say he's racist, he's just not a good dude. Okay. I think what's going to be really telling is the guys in that locker room. If he loses that room now, if they fall apart, look, they started 3-0. They lost last week, they lost this week. I think that's going to be what's telling. Who do you give a better chance to be coaching? If I said to you, come Thanksgiving, it's only a month away. One, the other, or both, Urban Meyer, or neither. Who's going to still have their job?
John Gruden.
Okay. So you wouldn't say both, huh?
No.
Okay. There was a really interesting Urban Meyer moment yesterday, too, when his players kind of were patting him on the butt. There was a play. It looked like it was a fumble at Ryan Tannehill. The ball was out of his hand. It was called an incomplete. It took him about 4 minutes to throw the damn red flag when everybody's, come on, throw the flag, coach, throw the flag. He finally threw the flag. They're patting him on the butt. It was a weird, did you see that scene during that game? Really weird moment with the most indecisive coach I've ever seen.
And it's the thing with Urban Meyer, too. It's like every situation, it's so much more dramatic than it needs to be.
I agree.
And that's why I don't think he even makes it to the end, not just because of everything else that's going on, is it's like in games. Like a missed field goal, you gotta be like, all right, let's go on to the next. He's just like, oh!
Yeah, I missed the field.
Dude.
I know.
Get your stuff together.
If you want to get in on John Gruden, you can. This was on the list, and since Eric brought it up, we'll go there. Your thoughts, and I guess it's really not for me or you or Eric to decide if it's racial. Do you accept the explanation? He apologized. Didn't say I didn't say it. Said I call people who lie rubber-lipped. Okay. Is that okay? Do you accept that? Do you buy it? And again, it's going to come down to not whether you or I do, but whether or not those players in that locker room accept that. 505-246-0610. We'll go back to the phones in a minute, in a few minutes. I got in my car. Every time I got in my car this weekend, it was like, dang, it's nice. Dang, it's nice. On the Spot Automotive Detailing came out last week on Thursday and detailed my vehicle. And it is so clean and so, it just everything, all of it, just it smells better. It looks better. Like the day I took it off the lot, I'm telling you. And they did it in the parking lot at my office while I was working. I didn't have to take it over there. I didn't have to go pick it up, get a ride. And they were out there 3 hours. I got a bunch done, and so did they. Can I strongly suggest to you On the Spot Automotive Detailing? Well, people in the office building were going, "Hey, is that your car? What are they doing?" Well, I gave them cards. Call these guys. They're amazing. If you're looking for a gift and we're going into that season, that perfect gift for, I don't know, whatever the holiday is, this one will be a hit. Now they also offer paint corrections for anything from scratches to asphalt removal. It'll get your car looking like new again. Ceramic coating, the best way to protect your paint for years to come, and they apply it by hand. That makes it last longer, gets a more even coating than other companies can offer. Book your appointment online. Go to www.otsdetailing.com. otsdetailing.com. That's on the spot automotive detailing. Call them 505-859-2859. That's 505-859-2859. You're going to love this.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavez Sr., proud owner, operator of Global Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.globalprotectiveservices.com.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours, with faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs.
All right, Danny Gonzalez will be with us at the top of the hour. We'll talk about the Lobos and Aztecs, looking back and then look ahead to Colorado State. Jeff, JJ, Steph, and Adrian, glad you're with us on the opening drive this morning. Paul, thanks for holding. Good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Good morning. Just a couple of thoughts on this John Gruden thing.
Yep.
Number one, I think all of us have probably done or said things sometimes in the past that we regret or perhaps we move on from, and I think it's very difficult when things are dug up from something 10 or 11 years ago. The other thing I'd like to comment on was during the halftime of the football game last night, which probably you were watching, although it became quite prolonged.
Yeah, they were
Mike
just
Tirico commented that he was working with Gruden during this time. They worked together for 7 years as commentators. He said they spent a considerable amount of time together, and he was never aware that Gruden was racist or biased. And I think Tirico's probably one of the more intelligent, better commentators that I know, and he happens to be black. Just those two thoughts.
Appreciate it, Paul. Thank you. So it was a long, extended halftime show because of the lightning delay, and so I had the sound turned down. Actually, I just said, "Is the game over? What happened? Do you need another?" I'm like, "No, we're good. It's a delay." I didn't hear that. If in fact he said that, I think that's important. A colleague with whom John Gruden worked closely for many years, coming to his defense in that regard, not defending his comments, but defending his character. And I think that's going to be important in this whole thing as it plays out. We're having this conversation last night about Gruden, and there's been a lot of accusations of him being a jerk and being a good guy, right? A jerk and being a racist is certainly two different things. Now, I think if you dislike someone, you may just call him an a-hole, or you may call that. This one's a little specific. He didn't call Roger Goodell.
It's a racially motivated comment, and I think more when you look at this, not necessarily just straight out, "Oh, John Gruden's a racist," but it's not just. Also, just take a step back and be like, "Oh, you say bad things." Do you put stuff like that in your work emails?
No, I don't.
Like even this was an email going to an NFL person. It's going to be handled differently than just a text message. So you have to address it, and this is more to me than just a mistake. 'Cause why was he comfortable saying that? Why was he comfortable saying that to an NFL general manager? Do I sit here and believe that John Gruden is a racist? No, but that is a comment specific to a person's appearance.
Well, and I think what's interesting.
And I've said it multiple times today. I don't think he's going to be fired for this.
Yeah.
This isn't something that's also you can just push aside. It's like
when we hear things like this, don't you always want the context? right? A lot of these times, well, why was he even talking about that? And whatever it is, well, he was asked that and he was answering a question, and we lose that context. I'd love to know the rest of the context of this email conversation. Did Bruce Allen respond? What was said before or after? Why did he feel so comfortable sending it to this particular person? I mean, this is one email which has a bad look. I'm not defending the look. It's got a bad look to it, but don't you want to know the context of it? Did he also, what if did he call Roger Goodell rubber-lipped in there, as he says he calls people who are lying?
Yeah, I get it, but that's not the term he used.
No, I understand that. Right.
And then how many people, Michelin, or we're talking about tires, like, all right, you're going to.
Yeah, no, I look, I'm not sitting here trying to defend what he said, and I don't believe he is either. And to the last caller's point, something gets drug up 10, 11 years later. Do you remember exactly the context? No, but the fact is that was in your vernacular. That came from your fingers into your email, and now you got to defend it. I don't know that it's going to take him down, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk global football. Lobos lose at San Diego State 31-7 on Saturday past. Next up, a home game with a team they haven't beaten in 10 straight tries. Colorado State will be in town. Head football coach at the University of New Mexico, Danny Gonzalez, will be with us next. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Stephan is producing on the radio side. Adrian on the TV side at ProView Networks. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
When looking for the best experience while buying an all-new Kia, Fiesta Kia offers some of the most knowledgeable and friendly Kia specialists in New Mexico. They'll help you find the Kia that will meet all your expectations. Kias have some of the most affordable vehicles for you to choose from, offering extensive options and style for the price. And with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, Kia won't be beat. Come be a part of the Fiesta family today, 7400 Lomas Boulevard Northeast, or start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavez Sr., proud owner, operator of Lobo Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.loboprotectiveservices.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing.
The
We
best
do it.
sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Lobo football back home this Saturday, trying to break a big, long losing streak against Colorado State and break a losing streak that they are currently mired in this season. 31-7, San Diego State over New Mexico Saturday past in Carson, California. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Back to your phone calls in a little bit. This conversation with Danny Gonzalez, sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. If you need legal help and someone who really cares, call Rudy at 242-5500 today. Make your legal problems go away. Lobos did not get an offensive touchdown, and big concern is the health of their quarterback. Danny Gonzalez is the head football coach in his second year at UNM. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Danny. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great. Another beautiful morning. How are you guys doing today?
It is. We're well, thank you. A crazy football weekend. Let's start off with Terry, because that's, I think, what everybody's really concerned about. So here you are 2 days later. You took the plane ride home. How is your senior quarterback?
I'll tell you what, he's one tough sucker. It took him a while to get his elbow, so he dislocated his left elbow, non-throwing arm, but it took him a while to get it back in. I mean, it took 3 doctors pulling and yanking to get that thing, and they got it back in. It was really swollen yesterday and stiff, so they started him on anti-inflammatories, and we'll see how loose they can get it, how they can get the swelling down, and if we can get the swelling down, that's a deal that you can brace up. And since it dislocated backwards, almost like hyperextended, they can lock a brace so that it don't go past a certain point. And he'll be, since it's not a throwing arm, we'll have to see how much swelling those ligaments, because obviously when you dislocate something, you tear stuff in there slightly. So we'll have to see by the end of the week how swollen it is and what kind of mobility he has and whether or not he can use it. So we'll go in with a plan for him to play, and also a plan for him not to play.
Yeah, it sounds like you're hoping, and obviously hope isn't a plan. So plan B is what? Do you look at C.J. Montes? Is it Trey Hall? Is it Isaiah? What is plan B?
Well, the plan right now, I think Trey Hall is doing some things outside that's been very beneficial for our team here and there, different things, and he gives us some different options, especially with some guys out like Manny Logan Green. So we'll probably leave Trey out there, and we'll give Isaiah and CJ an opportunity this week in practice to get home. Now, the thing with Isaiah is he was out for about 6 weeks from fall camp. This last week was his first week of actually being back in practice and was not full go. So he'll be full go this week. So between those two, we'll see what they can do, and we'll put a plan together.
Danny, your defense, people say, well, they gave up 31 points. How could their defense have played well? Well, watch the game, and you look at it. They ran the ball for, I think, a little over 200 yards. You walk away, do you feel better about your defense coming out of this?
Well, we're getting better every week. I said it last week, too. We're not good enough yet on defense to play as bad as we're playing on offense. And we've got spurts. At the beginning of the third quarter, when we make it 17-7, when we could recover a fumble and score, we've got some momentum, and I thought, we can make a game out of this thing if we can get some more momentum, get another stop right here, and give the offense the ball back. And we had a really nice drive right at the end of the first half where we had done some things and figured some things out, and then we turned the ball over. If we don't turn that ball over and we get a score right there, it's a completely different ball game. But the next drive, we let them return the kickoff to the 40, and then we stop them on first down, and we get a penalty for a guy standing over a guy. That's undisciplined, that's selfish, and part of that is we preach around here that we're going to be tough guys and we're going to be physical and mean and play the game that way and do those things, and you have to do those things within the whistle. And sometimes a guy thinks that he's standing over somebody, he's showing him how tough he is. Well, that's immature. It's a part of the process of learning. I want these guys to play on the edge, but you can't do dumb things like that and make those kind of mistakes, because it really hurt our football team. You give them extra 15 yards, and then we get a holding penalty, and then they score. So now all the momentum we have at 17-7 is gone, and we've got to be able to overcome those things. We can't just shoot ourselves in the foot. So we made progress. We do some good things on defense, but we still do things like that.
Now, Danny, when you're looking at the process of building and the frustration in the moment of what's happened during a game, people just focus on a scoreboard. But you as a coach, what are things that you're looking for from your team saying, hey, this is a step in the right direction. Hey, we're doing things good here.
Well, the competitive edge and taking the fight to them. I thought when we came out of the locker room, the very first drive, we made some plays on defense that, we jumped around a block here so that they get a long run on the very first play of the game. We fall in, we don't fall over them. We should have an unblocked guy on Greg Bell, and instead we block ourselves, and they get things like that. We get them over the sideline, we make some adjustments, and then for the rest of the half, we play some good ball. And then we get we kill ourselves. We have a 3rd and 13, and we get a pass interference in cover 2 when the ball should be intercepted. Those little details that are just destroying us right now. But I thought when we came out of the halftime, I thought we took the fight to them, especially on defensive side of the ball. We went 3 straight drives. 2 of them were 3 and out. One of them was a fumble that we returned for a touchdown. And our kids, San Diego State, being in that program for a long time, when somebody brings the fight to them, they're not used to it. They don't like it. And I thought we did that for a good portion of that quarter, and then we killed ourselves. So we're making little inways right there. On the offensive side of the ball, obviously we anticipated the offensive line playing better because of the 4 returns we had, and they haven't. So we did some things in the second half. We ran a little bit better. We put some younger guys in there. The thing about our offensive line that is the biggest disappointment, obviously those older guys aren't playing good. We're just really not big enough. We're not big enough to compete at a high level. We've got some really young old linemen in our program. Larry Luna from Roswell Goddard, he's 6'6" and 300 pounds. He's not physically ready to play yet. Harrison Cole, another kid from Georgia, he's 6'7", he's 320 pounds, he's lean, not ready to play yet, because if we put those guys in against guys like San Diego State has, we're going to beat them up so bad for the next 2 years, we're going to have to fix them. We put Issei in there at right guard. We put Leke in there at left guard. Those guys did some really good things in the second half. I thought Aaron ran the ball better. So we're going to start playing some younger guys to try and develop the ones that are ready, and hopefully that'll help us play a little bit better up front.
Danny Gonzalez, Lobo football coach, is with us on the opening drive.
Yeah, Danny, you mentioned Aaron Dumas, the true freshman at running back. From my count, he had at least 4 runs that went over 10 yards. What did you see from him as the game went on, especially in that second half?
Aaron's getting better week by week. You've got a true freshman out there who's gaining confidence in the speed of the game. I thought he did do, just like you said, he broke some good runs. There's more yards out there that Aaron, as we continue to go, he'll get better vision and he'll get used to it. He was a really good running back in high school, and he's missing some of those cuts right now where we've got a 7 or 8 yard gain, or we've got a 3 or 4 yard gain that can easily be 12 to 15 as he gets more comfortable. So I think Aaron is getting better week to week. Bobby came in the second half. I thought Bobby ran a little bit harder than he had the first 5 weeks, which is positive because we need Bobby to run angry. Bobby Cole, when he runs angry, he's hard to bring down. So I thought those 2 guys are getting better. Aaron's going to be a really good football player, and you're playing against the top 15 defense in the country. It's been the top 15 defense in the country for the last 10 years. They're a top 25 program. We've got to get better so that we can compete. We're going to win a championship around here, but we got to be able to compete with those guys. And right now, we didn't do it good enough to have a chance.
Lobos lose 31-7 to one of the 13 undefeated teams left in America in San Diego State. Before Terry got hurt, and I don't know if this is a fair assessment, I'll ask you, it feels like he's playing a little gun-shy, that he's expecting something bad to happen, that he doesn't feel as free. Is that a fair assessment of your quarterback?
I think that's a fair assessment not only of Terry but of our entire team. And it's a little bit surprising from Terry just because of the experience that he has coming in, but we've got a thing that we've got to beat him out of around here of waiting for something to go bad. And when it goes bad, we wait way too long to overcome it. In a football game, especially the good teams we've been around, both good and bad things are going to happen during the game. It's how you handle the negative situations, how long you let them go. And right now, we almost anticipate something bad going to happen, and we don't overcome it very well. We need to get that out of us. And then Terry, the O-line obviously hasn't been giving him a whole lot of time. Now, there were times on Saturday that he did have plenty of time, and we missed a couple throws. We completed a couple throws. We had a couple Taylor Neer over the top that, he had a chance to, when the game was still within reach, to make a diving catch that he came up a little bit short. So we just need to continue to go down the path. I mean, the plan ain't changed. You can adjust and all that stuff. We obviously need to get better up front on offense, and we've got some things that we can do, like some young guys that we can put in there to see if we can help them, and that's continuing down the path that we're going.
Yeah, with Manny out, and now you've got Trey out making plays. Where do you find playmakers? And you probably have them, like you talk about your offensive line, guys that are going to be good next year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. You can't really force it. So do you have playmakers?
I mean, we have some. The ones that we're playing with right now. I think Luke Wysong has done a phenomenal job this year. Also a true freshman. Taylor Neer, who missed a couple of games because of the contact tracing, he had been playing really well early. You get 2 weeks out of. And we got people got to. For Tay, he was out for 2 weeks for contact tracing. That means they're at home isolated. They don't get to work out. They don't get to run. So his conditioning wasn't very good for Saturday. We'll get that back in over the next week or so. He'll be a little bit better next week. We've got to get better, though, in key opportunities. When we have opportunities to make plays, those guys have to make them. Now, they're talented, and they're learning the speed of the game, but we need them to grow up right now. And I want them to be as good as they're going to be next year right now. Obviously, they're not. We've got some growing pains through that, but we do have some guys that we can stretch the field with. Hopefully, C.J. Boone will be back this week. We can stretch the field, and if we do that, it opens up the running game. Right now, we're not stretching the field, so they're able to put 9 guys in the box to be able to stop us from running the football.
Colorado State coming up on Saturday. This Rams team is playing better than I expected them, especially what happened early in the season. What do you see out of Colorado State the last couple of weeks?
They're very physical up front. On offense, they play with 2 tight ends, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends and 1 running back 95% of the game. They get in every formation with those guys, so they can give you a whole bunch of trouble. It's going to be more of a down and distance game preparation than it would be personnel-based like it is most weeks. On defense, they play really fast. They play aggressive. They give you multiple fronts. It'll be the first time. San Diego State gave you 2 fronts. It was going to be an odd or an even front, where you got a guy over the center or you got 2 guys over the guards. They give you about 4 or 5 different fronts, and they got them playing pretty hard against San Jose State. Now, Nick Nash, with Starkel, when they were playing with Starkel at quarterback, he's got a demeanor out there. Nick Nash is a really good player, but you got to remember he's a wide receiver playing quarterback. So San Jose State struggled a little bit on offense. And part of that struggle is because Colorado State played really, really good. Now, they kicked 6 field goals. It was 32-14 game. So they're doing a good job controlling the ball, getting in field position to give them opportunity to score. And they've got a really good kicker that they're capitalizing on right now. The last 2 weeks, they've kicked a lot of field goals and been successful. They played Iowa really hard. So we've got a great challenge. They're coming down to our house. We haven't beaten them 10 times, and they've beaten us 10 times in a row in the games that we played. We didn't get to play them last year because of COVID. So I'm excited for the opportunity to have them come down here and for our football team to compete and get better again.
I know it means something to you, even though you weren't here, that they beat you 10 times in a row. Is that something that you use this week? Does it resonate with the young men in that locker room?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of doors to knock down around here. Obviously, we had the longest losing streak for a while. We knocked that door down. The conference losing streak, we knocked that door down. We've got to get back on now. We're 0-2 in conference. The 2 teams we played so far might be the best 2 teams in our league. Air Force beat Wyoming 24-14 Saturday. San Diego State's really good. Air Force and Boise play this week, and Boise had a big win over BYU this past weekend. You're right. College football was unbelievable this past weekend. Yeah. That's what we're trying to continue to build here. So, it's an opportunity for us to go out there and get better. They're going to hear about it all week long, about the 10 wins. I wasn't a part of all 10, like you said, but I knew every single week when the Lobos lost these guys when I wasn't here, because it does mean something to me. So they'll hear about it, and I think it's important that they understand that we've got a big door to knock down.
Go to work. Appreciate the time. Always do. Good luck against the Rams this weekend. We'll see you during the week, Danny. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Go Lobos.
Be well. Danny Gonzalez, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. That conversation was sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal care for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today and make your legal problems go away. A lot in there, and I didn't expect that we would have a definite answer in regards to quarterback, but we can talk about that and everything that Danny had to say when we return. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Dreams are amazing.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavez Sr., proud owner, operator of Lobo Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.loboprotectiveservices.com.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From Laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
The Jim Rome Show is up next at 10, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
All right, I know the calls are going to be coming for Isaiah Chavez. Steve Virgin wrote a story with a headline, "Is it time to go back to Isaiah Chavez?" And as Danny said, plan A is still going to be Terry Wilson. And I think it should be Terry Wilson. If the senior quarterback can go on Saturday or whenever it is he's ready to go, I think it's his job. Is it C.J. Montes or is it Isaiah Chavez? And Danny reminded you that Isaiah has basically been out for 6 weeks under protocol.
And I know, we've said that multiple times. It's been out there. I don't think people have realized that because I keep getting the same things over and over. Why isn't Isaiah Chavez playing? How could Danny Gonzalez lose that momentum of Isaiah Chavez? Like, he had a concussion. He can't physically play football up until getting cleared last week.
First of all, like going in, and Isaiah, they won the games behind him, and I'm taking nothing away from him. It's one of the great stories in Lobo. It's probably one of the great stories in Lobo football history, don't you think? That young man, QB5, true freshman, coming off the bench, winning the last 2 games of the year, in the COVID year. It's like literally that'll live 15, 20, 40 years from now. That's even going to be bigger than it is now. Like, oh my gosh, and this guy limped and he was horrible. And no. I mean, the further away you get, the older you get, the better you are. But it's going to be interesting to see who plays this weekend. And I think first and foremost, your priority is Terry Wilson. Can he play? I thought the other thing that I asked Danny, and this is something I've said to you, right? It feels to me as if Terry is playing gun shy, rushing things, expecting something bad to happen. He says, not just Terry, it's the whole team. And that's something you got to coach out of him. And it's understandable. And the young man's back there and he's under pressure a lot and he doesn't have time. And the other part of to me is, who's your receiver, who's your go-to?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing I asked back in August. Who's his go-to guy?
And this is something, this team is in certain areas absolutely underperforming. He mentioned that there was a 3rd and 14 defensive pass interference and that was Jarek Reed. That is supposed to be the second best player on your defense. An all-conference player last season. He makes that mistake because that is that moment in time where they had that defensive pass interference. It goes from San Diego State punting the football to keeping the drive alive and then ending with a field goal. It's just little things like that. You could get them off the field. Instead,
100%.
They go down and put points on the board. And that is the second best player in defense, which we thought it would be Jarek Reed, as you have Joey Noble up front. And then just the offensive line, the experience in the middle of it at least, and those guys not playing well. Yeah. On the outside, you have sophomores playing. You figure, all right, it might be rough at times, but you can't get yards up the middle. You hear Danny say, well, teams are just stacking the box against us. They're putting 9. They know that we can't make plays downfield. And it's been rough. And also looking at Terry Wilson, and I was talking with Ned James about this. And, yes, just because someone's been somewhere, it's not everything, but I'm like, Ned, how do you explain to people that, because like Ned looks at Terry Wilson and he's like, this guy checks all the boxes. Like, he doesn't put you in a bad position. He knows. Yeah, like the guy played quarterback. He coached all over the place. So I do listen. It doesn't mean that everything he says is correct, like with anyone. But he's been so adamant, like, this dude is good. And then I'm like, well, how do you explain to people how bad they've been? Because Ned is like I said, he can make every throw. He understands when to get rid of it and not put his team in a bad position. Like, he's good.
What's the response? What does Ned say?
And Ned is like, well, what you have to look at is what you go back to. He's essentially counting on 2 true freshmen on the outside, and one of those, you heard Keontae Leonard missing the last 2 weeks.
The whole time.
Manny Logan Green is
out,
unavailable. Just got Andrew Erickson back, and it's pretty much been the perfect storm of everything to go wrong with a quarterback that finally maybe we could take a step forward with. Just isn't happening.
Yeah, I think, and the other part of it to me is he's rushed. Like in his mind, right, he played behind the line. Granted, he had SEC guys coming at him, but he had an SEC line in front of him, and he had weapons. So he probably had more confidence in where he was throwing and that he was going to be protected. He's not being protected. Carl said, thank God for Timex Terry. Jeff, how many Lobo quarterbacks the last 15 to 20 years could have taken this kind of beating and kept on ticking? You're hoping he can continue to tick, right? You're hoping he can continue to go. Lobo Hobo says, Danny Gonzalez Cherry Blazer game, Jeff? For 2 years, we've heard that Lobo football needs to beat Colorado State. If Lobo football doesn't, their path to a bowl game gets really cloudy. Don't you think it's cloudy now?
I think the sun set on that in El Paso.
I mean, it's cloudy now. Now, there's still games out there, right? What do you got? You need 4 more? So this would be one of them? You can get this in Utah State and UNLV, and then you got to steal one somewhere? Fresno State, Wyoming, right? I mean, it's cloudy now. I think this is just about, like he said, breaking down barriers, beating down doors, finding ways to continue to get better and further the program. All right, we'll go to the phones when we get back. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. If you're there, please stay, and we'll hit you as soon as we get back.
A way to better yourself is F45 training. High-intensity interval training, just 45-minute sessions. Classes, they are actually a lot of fun. It's a challenge, but you're going to feel good about what you're able to accomplish at F45 training. So what's it all about? Well, check them out at F45training.com. You get a sense of the kind of workouts you're going to be doing, from strength-based days to cardio-based, upper body, lower body splits. 7 days a week, you're doing something different. Full body functional fitness, high-intensity training. It's a challenge, whether you're someone looking to kickstart your fitness or you feel like, hey, I'm in really good shape and you're looking for something extra. F45 is literally a gym for everyone because you can do it. You don't have to go in and be like, well, I'm only here. All right, start where you're at or challenge yourself and get going. The trainers are fantastic. Certified trainers there. Every single class help motivate and modify. It's all set up. No wasted time. You get in, you warm up, you knock out your workout, and you're on with your day. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app. You can sign up for your 7-day free trial. Book your next class. Get in and get going. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at FiestaSubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at FiestaSubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it, we smash it.
Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
All right, so you can respond to what Danny Gonzalez had to say. Aggie fan 55-28, but you covered Carson Strong threw 6 touchdowns against New Mexico State in the Nevada win. Full slate of NFL. Jets lose in London to the Falcons. Chargers win, and what a classic that was against the Browns, 47-42.
Where do you come down on the pass interference? A terrible call.
I'm so over every time there's a ball thrown downfield, there's a flag.
Well, it should have been offensive pass interference.
I know, but I'm still so over that every time we throw the ball.
But it was a 4th down play.
Yeah.
Kept the drive alive. No, you should have been off the field if you're Cleveland.
Well, I agree.
Mike Williams was tugging on
100%.
the jersey of the Browns defender. Yeah. But you got one more out. Missed call, should have been off the field, but you weren't. At another 4th down in which they scored a touchdown on later. So you had a chance to get it back, and you still missed the opportunity.
Lenny, good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning. How are you doing?
All right.
Well, the Chargers are now winning games they used to be losing.
100%.
So I understand the bad calls, but at the end of the day, both teams' defenses were horrendous. The Chargers have the 29th worst running defense in the league, and even though they're 4-1, you can't do that. And Cleveland can't complain because at the end of the day, they still got 47 points scored on them. So the call or not, you still gave up 47 points.
That's right. That's right.
So both teams had chances to win. The Chargers kicking woes came back again, but still not as bad as the Green Bay game.
That was
with
unbelievable.
5 missed field goals.
How many
in
extra
15
points
minutes.
were missed yesterday? Every time you turn around, like in the early window, I think there were 7 extra points missed in yesterday's early window.
But the Chargers gave back Cleveland a chance to win with their kicking game. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain. Chargers are now 8-1 or 7-1 in their past 8 games, and these are games they used to lose and now they're winning.
Yep.
You
That's
know,
all
and
true.
at the beginning of the season, did you really think they would be 4-1 and KC would be 2-3?
Never.
I didn't. But the Chargers also have to decide. You have Mike Williams, 6'5", 235. Last week, he's hardly in the game. Yesterday, 16 times you throw to him. He needs to be in the offense all the time.
That's unbelievable.
And Jared Cook's a good tight end, but you got Parham, who's a 6'8", 250-pound tight end. You can't teach height.
Okay.
That's a 50-50 ball receiver who runs the 40 and 4.4 as a tight end. You need to get him in the game. He has a career total of 17 receptions and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, you got a weapon.
But they're not utilizing it enough.
Well, I mean, look, they scored 47 points. They're going to figure things out. They're going to spread it around. You got a lot of things to complain about. Your offense isn't one of them.
Right. So, but I'm not going to complain.
Won.
You got 99 problems, but that
But in terms of just being a sporting fan this weekend, we talked on
He had
Sunday.
one game that he did.
Saturday night was probably one of the greatest heavyweight fights in the past 15 years.
Those guys just swung at each other and pummeled each other and knocked each other down for 11 rounds.
And then to have a New Mexico referee in there
I
is
didn't
nice.
know that. Yeah, that I didn't know. Yep.
But if you miss that fight, you got to go back because that was a clear end to a trilogy. No doubt about it. He froze him on the rope in the 11th round, and he was out before he hit the ground.
Yeah, that was good.
And this is 2 weeks now where you saw heavyweight boxers outdo heavyweight punchers.
It's interesting. Yeah. Yep, the way it's supposed to
And
end.
then all the upsets on Saturday in college football, and there's now Cincinnati and the group of 5 get invited to the big dance in the playoffs.
I hope so. If they keep winning, it's going to be hard to keep them out because I still think somewhere along the line Oklahoma's going to get beat. They're not all that convincing to me. They should have got beat the other day, I thought. So now what do? You're going to have you potentially could have 2 SECs versus 2 Big Tens. I think the ACC's out. The Pac-12's pretty much played themselves out, I think. This would be the year. Notre Dame's not there. This would be the year if they got to run the table.
Notre Dame, as much as I'm a Notre Dame fan, always goes into the rankings.
They're out.
Overrated.
That's right. They're done. All right, man.
But Cincinnati is going to be a big one.
Yep.
And if they don't get invited to the dance, that's going to cause a lot of stir, especially if they run the table.
They're going to have to run the table. No, they're going to have to run the table. All right, we'll talk during the week, but it's good stuff, and there's a lot there. Thanks. Let me call the 246-0610. Leo, good morning. How you doing, Leo?
Hey, good morning. I was just going to ask, or make a comment about the Louisville football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just wondering. I don't know if you remember the Henry T. show back,
of course,
maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They'd have all these cool personalities calling in, like the Nail, the Hammer. Even Rudy would call in.
That's right.
A bunch of cool guys, and we all gave our opinions on the Lobos. And once there was one man his name was Manuel.
Okay.
And he talked about the Lobo curse because the stadium, when they built it, it was built on an old cemetery. And I'm starting to believe in that, man, because after 70 years, we can't get it together. Now Gonzalez is under the curse. I mean, what happened? I mean, all the hype we had last year, all the excitement, all the hope, and boom, it's gone.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gone, Leo. I think the excitement was good because they won the last two. I think in reality, if you when Danny took over this job, Leo, as bad as the program was, where it was.
Sure.
No, hear me for a second. Just hear me. How long was it going to take?
Same thing every year.
Okay.
Every year, it's the same thing.
So you're out. You're out on them. I mean, how quickly did you think it was going to take to turn around? Do you think it was going to turn around in a year and a half?
Well, after 80 years, we think we'd have at least. We have maybe 2 or 3 good years. The coach leaves, and then we start over again.
All right.
And then another 5-10 years of rebuilding. He has a good year, 2 years, he leaves.
Okay.
It's our history.
No, I understand that. I think we're having two different conversations. I think with this coach, did you think it was going to turn around within a season, from winning 1-2 games a year to turn around? And I mean, you got excited because they look good and they had the 4-game winning streak. I get it. But how quickly, honestly, did you think it was going to turn around? Because it sounds like you're out on them, right?
Yeah, I am. There's no improvement. I haven't seen any,
Okay.
They haven't shown any improvement.
Okay.
I mean, come on, they have the same offensive line that they had last year pretty much.
Yeah, the offensive line's
what,
bad.
What are they doing?
Yeah,
no improvement.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think they threw Chavis under the bus, man.
How'd they throw him under the bus?
How's that?
How'd they throw him under the bus?
Well, look what he did.
He won
magic last year. He won.
He won 2 games. Yeah.
And hopefully they let him play and see what he can do. But they get this man from Texas or Kentucky, and poor guy.
All right, Leo, I appreciate it.
I mean, if he's some kind of all-star from the Southeast Conference, nobody has seen it yet.
Well, is it all on him, or is it all his fault?
The reason really what my point I wanted to make was I wonder if there's any truth to that curse.
Yeah, it does feel like it.
Do you remember that? Haven't you heard that?
No, I've heard it a lot. And Leo, I got to take this break, but I appreciate the call. Thanks. So the curse is another conversation. You can have that conversation. I don't think Isaiah Chavis has been thrown under the bus. This man from Kentucky came in. He's a pretty good quarterback. But has he had a chance? 505-246-0610. 2 lines open. We'll get back into it. I want to tell you about IPS. They watch my home. International Protective Service. They're a security company that watches homes and businesses. Aaron Jones owns the company, and he is highly passionate about providing security for your home or business. And now, not only does IPS respond to alarms, they install alarm systems. So if you don't have one in your home or your business, IPS has you covered. It's one-stop shopping. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Go to ipsglobal.com. If you trust IPS, you get a local company, not a business that sells your security to a national corporate giant who then doesn't know Albuquerque like IPS does. Look, they'll still respond to any alarm system, but if you don't have one, call IPS. They'll set you up for unmatched security. Don't wait to be a victim. Sleep better at night knowing IPS is watching your business. Be confident during the day. They've got eyes on your home when you're not there. IPS is at 505-897-2420 or ipsglobal.com.
Staples Connect.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavis Sr., proud owner, operator of Global Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.loboprotectiveservices.com.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs, call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
When looking for the best experience while buying an all-new Kia, Fiesta Kia offers some of the most knowledgeable and friendly Kia specialists in New Mexico. They'll help you find the Kia that will meet all your expectations. Kias have some of the most affordable vehicles for you to choose from, offering extensive options and style for the price. And with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, Kia won't be beat. Come be a part of the Fiesta family today, 7400 Lomas Boulevard Northeast, or start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavez Sr., proud owner, operator of Lobo Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.loboprotectiveservices.com.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
13 games, boys and girls. Danny's coached 13 games. I see progress from where they started. I get it if you don't see it overnight. Hey, Ralph says, Henry T. conspiracy? How about the Lobos just played a very solid defense of a nationally ranked team? Same crew that ran Rocky out for winning 7 of 8 games a year with a bowl game most years, which, however, 8 to 10 wins a year wasn't enough for Rocky. By Aztec fans, they always want more. It sounds like the same thing that happened here, doesn't it? I mean, it is just give the man some time. Come on. 13 games in? Really? I get it. It must be the curse.
Well, it's hard to explain because what's different about this team that they look worse now than they did last year.
Understood. Edward, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's nice to hear everybody's voices this morning and perspectives. I've been benevolent with this city with my time and my thoughts. And I unleashed the 5-star picks on last Friday. And what kept me from perfection was Goofy Carr with his mama mentality who couldn't gather first downs. Let me tell you, if Mariota wasn't hurt, if he wasn't hurt this year, they would have benched Carr yesterday. There's no doubt in my mind. And I like Carr. I think he's very serviceable. He got a nice contract. But the Steelers, I took the Steelers, not rooting against Denver. I think Denver has some good things going. And Roethlisberger, who looks like he doesn't even want to be out there, they pulled it off. And then Kyler Murray, who's the front runner now for league MVP, along with Herbert, they cover. Then I picked the Fury knockout. Picked the 8th round in all transparency, and I think it was in the 11th round. But Goofy Carr prevented me from having a perfect weekend.
Sorry, man.
Like that perfect sunset we saw Saturday evening.
That was
spectacular, by the way.
Yeah, color Saturday.
I got to put a pitch for McCall's Halloween. Their haunted house and their haunted cornfield maze is exceptional. So if people want to take I wouldn't take young kids, but might freak them out. But I had a great time out there. But I told you when the Chargers and the Cowboys played a few weeks ago, and it was a great game, and the Cowboys pulled it off. Right now, would you take Herbert or Dak? And I think the resounding feedback was Dak. I think Herbert may be the preeminent quarterback over the next 5 to 10 years.
Could be.
He covers up so much dysfunction on that team, defensive dysfunction, incapability, stupid penalties, and he delivers. And I'm rooting for him. I think it's amazing. I don't want Thomas Edward Brady to be an MVP candidate, not during the regular season, because the last regular season MVP that won a Super Bowl was 22 years ago with the great Kurt Warner. The only MVP I want him to win is the Super Bowl MVP, number 6. Anyway, nice to see Alabama go down. That way there's some competitive nature in college football.
Truth.
And overall, just a great sports weekend. So go Bearcats. I hope they continue to roll. And thank you for the time you shared with me this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good day. So there's going to be a lot more Cincinnati love as we go forward, by the way. People are going to get on the Cincinnati train. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. There are no curses. Let me see if I can break this down for Leo, okay? College football is not pro football. You can't claim guys off waiver wires. You can't cut people and replace them with another person. You get what you get from year to year. Anybody think that Michigan would be so bad last year?
And look at them now.
I mean, they were horrible. They lost 49-14 at home to Wisconsin last year. Okay, so what's happened with Lobo football for the last 80 years is very simple. They've never had a plan and stuck to it. The coach comes in, and we're going to run a high-powered offense. Remember Mike Shepard? You'd score 46 points and lose 46-43. Then Rocky came in, and it's going to be defense first, and people got on him because he runs a quote-unquote boring offense. Boring all the way to the bank. Boring to the tune of 33,000 people in the stadium. So what UNM needs to do is cancel out all that noise. They got a guy. The guy wants to be here. He turned down jobs everywhere else in this country. Danny's a well-respected defensive coordinator who's learning to be a head coach. He's doing everything he can to win a game. You think this is easy on Danny? It's not. But one thing about Danny is he's irrepressible. And he's not going to let any of his criticism or anything else drown out the noise in his head, which is to go find better players. Go out to practice and see Jamarcus Bailey and some of these kids. And Danny talked about it. But you don't stick a kid in D1 college football his freshman year unless he's exceptional. There's a real acclimation process. Just like look at all these guys that struggle when they go from college to pro. It's the same kind of jump.
Yeah, like I think the attitude, with Leo, which he's given up, and you're going to run a guy out of here, and I don't think Danny's going to get run out of here by a guy like that, but you're going to run a guy out who wants to be here. Like, have we not learned this lesson? It's going to take a minute now. It takes time to rebuild this thing, and I get it. There was a lot of momentum coming off of those 2 wins, and JJ's point is, well, then why does it feel like it's taken a step backwards in the offensive line and those sorts of things? I get the frustration. I get it.
Well,
but if you don't think this is the right guy, I just think you're so sorely mistaken, and you just don't see the big picture.
Yeah, It's simple what's going on with the offensive line. We don't have the same offensive line we had last year, and some of the guys that we counted on to have a good year this year are simply just not having a good year for whatever reasons. We're not at practice every day, but that's where you start figuring things out and you start saying, okay, let's put this guy in. Let's put that guy in. Let's try. There is a curve that happens. Here's the other thing. Everybody thought because we kept 14 super seniors, well, yeah, but every other team got to do the exact same thing. So they all got better too, right? I mean, anybody could keep any COVID-related player that they wanted to, and a lot of people improved their teams. So you got Colorado State coming to town. Okay, well, let's figure out a way to beat them. You don't give up because 1 week things don't go your way. And Danny's not going to give up. The team's not going to give up. They're going to get better. College football, you can bring in 3 Terry Wilson caliber people, and it won't even make a dent. You have to be good across the board. That's what people need to be patient and just stay the course. And before the season's over, I'll say it right now. Before the season's over, UNM's going to beat somebody they shouldn't beat, just like they did last year when they beat Wyoming and Fresno State.
Thank you, Rudy. Appreciate you. Yep. If you're there, stay there. I got to take this top of the hour break, and we'll come back. It's interesting. Curse. I hadn't heard that one in a little while, though. I've heard it before. Just curse. It's been a minute. It's the opening drive. We're on ProView Networks. Adrian's producing there. You can watch us on channel 20.5 or on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Stephanie's producing on the radio side on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own.
dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Hi, my name is Adrian Chavez Sr., proud owner, operator of Lobo Protective Services. We are also a proud member of ProView Networks, as well as so excited that New Mexico Youth Sports is back. In order to join our team, please join us at www.loboprotectiveservices.com.
Technique, this is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cindietta, and J.J. Bond. Don't sweat the technique.
All right, we've heard everything from curses to, curse. That's what I'm hearing. Not a cheering section. A curse on the stadium, the land where the stadium was built.
So is the curse just preventing you from winning conference championship?
I don't know. You've won a few. I don't know. All right,
you've won a bowl game.
You've won.
Been in a bowl game.
That's right. You've won a couple of them. All right, 505-246-0610. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ. We're talking NFL today. We're talking about the college football weekend that was. Lobo football, Danny Gonzalez was in. John Gruden's been on the table as well. Wherever it is you want to go. Let me kind of give you some of the big stuff. Danny Gonzalez was with us this morning. Asked him about his quarterback, Terry Wilson. They're hoping that he's going to be able to go this week. They'll see how he progresses through the week after the dislocated elbow. He said it was more of like a hyperextension, and so they're going to see. Plan B would either be C.J. Montes or Isaiah Chavez, and they'll go through the week and see. What you need to remember, and Leo called and said that Chavez got thrown under the bus. We both asked him how. He didn't give us an answer because they brought in this man from Kentucky, as he said. Please remember, too, as you go through, Isaiah's missed 6 weeks. 6 weeks is basically, it's more than a training camp. He was in concussion protocol. So it's not like Isaiah's, you want to throw him under the bus? Throw him out there not being prepared. To me, that would be throwing the young man under the bus.
I think a lot of it is people say, why'd you even bring in Terry Wilson?
Well, it's just not.
Which, there's a strong sentiment of that.
Okay, can I ask you this? And then we're going to go to the phone. But Isaiah was great. And the story was great. Did he wow you? Like the story's as good a story as there is in Lobo history. When you watch and you say, man, we can win a league championship right now with that guy. Now, maybe in 2 years, maybe as he develops, there was a reason he was QB5. Now, he played really well. He won games. I'm taking nothing away from that young man. You had an opportunity to bring in a guy that won 2 bowl games in the SEC, won 10 games in the SEC. You had an opportunity to bring him in as a bridge year, right, to get these young quarterbacks up and going. Why would honestly, today, I'm not asking you long term. That's a whole other conversation. Is Isaiah Chavez a better quarterback than Terry Wilson?
No.
Okay. There's the answer. You're going to get thrown under the bus.
But that's a lot of people go, well, with all that hasn't changed with this team, how do you do that the last 2 games of the season and then come out and not compete? And this isn't just San Diego State. San Diego State beat you, and they were going to beat you regardless, even if you started the season 3-1.
That's right.
It's really what happened at UTEP, the ineptitude of the offense against Air Force, and that's not just San Diego State. That was 6 quarters from the second half against the Miners, and then into Air Force, just nothing. And then, guess what? UTEP's a better football team this year. But then why is New Mexico not a better football team? And so that's what
they're a year ahead. UTEP's a year ahead.
Okay, but you brought back these players and added Terry Wilson. Why is the offense so bad? And so that's what people are that's the battle right now in the fan base. Let
me tell you this. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes is back there or Isaiah Chavez or Terry Wilson. That offensive line's not giving him a chance to win. And we've been saying this for how many weeks now? And so, Leo, if you think Isaiah Chavez is going to be back there, you want to throw him under the bus? Throw him back there, not prepared behind that offensive line. Let me see how you feel about him in 3 weeks. This isn't about the quarterback, although it's about everybody. But if you think this is solely about the quarterback, you're wrong. With all due respect, you're wrong. Now, has the quarterback been great? No, he hasn't been. But if you think this is, watch that offensive line. Anthony, good morning. You're on the Kiwanis Auto Care Hotline. Hi, Anthony.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening?
Hey, yeah, I just want to call and kind of echo some of the things that JJ was just saying. I mean, if you actually look at the schedule, and if you're being realistic about the Lobo schedule this year, is the only disappointing game is the UTEP game right now.
And they're 5-1 right now, by the way, Anthony. They're 5-1.
Yeah,
2-0 in their
But I mean,
league.
that's the only game at the beginning of the season you can look at and say, okay, that should be a win. And we lost that game, but that's disappointing. But there are circumstances, right? We know about the COVID, what happened in that situation.
Right.
And I know some people are upset that we lost to Air Force, but Air Force is a tough win every year. It doesn't matter if they're good or not because
And
of
they're
what they
good.
run. It's hard to get prepared for them. So I think people just need to realize if we can win a couple more games this year, Colorado State we should have a shot at. Maybe Wyoming we should have a shot at and see how they improve there and see what happens. But as far as people thinking this team was going to go, 8-4 or 10-2 and run into a bowl game, that's not the case. This program was down, and Danny's trying to build it back up. And like you guys said, at least he wants to be here, and at least he wants to see this team improve, and he has no plans of moving on as of right now. So give the guy a chance. Let's see what happens. Maybe Terry Wilson going down might be a blessing. It'll give some of these young guys an opportunity to get some experience because Terry Wilson's not going to be here next year. And year 3 and year 4 are going to be the years where we want to see improvement on this team,
That's
not
right.
year 2.
That's right. Look, we're 13 games in. We're basically just starting, if it was a full year, you'd just be starting year 2 right now.
And Danny's got 4 wins in 13 games.
That's more than the previous
that's
regime did.
pretty
Yeah.
good for a Lobo coach, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot worse. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so, I mean, just watch the games. Yeah, they don't look like they're proving, but they have injuries. They have problems going on. To me, I think the defense is actually looking pretty good. I mean, I'm surprised we're not getting 45, 55, 60 points put on the board against us every week. So for the Lobos to be in there and to think that the offense is going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and the Lobo defense is hanging in there, I think that's what you got to look at, that side of the ball.
100%.
Because year 3, year 4, if our defense is still improving, then we're not going to need a high-power offense. We're just going to need an offense that can score 21 to 30 points a game. And will give us a chance to win some games. So just hang in there, people. Don't get too crazy. Don't start firing Danny. He's going to be fine. We only have one game that we all thought that we should have been in that we didn't win. And to be honest, they
And you were
actually
in
played
it.
that first half
Yeah, and
really good for not having no receivers out there.
Yeah, and you were in the game and lost by a touchdown to a team that right now is 2-0 in their league, and they're 5-1 overall. So it's not like they're horrible.
UTEP's turning out. And then right now, I mean, after the fact, you're looking back at that game and saying, oh, maybe we shouldn't have won that game.
Right.
UTEP is pretty darn good.
Yeah, their defense has gotten a lot better. All right, man. Appreciate the call. Don't be a
All right,
stranger.
thanks, guys.
See you. One line's open now. One line at 505-246-0610. Good morning, Tommy.
Hey, guys. Tom at the Truth back at you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're on.
I guess was too optimistic. I know I talked with Ned the other night when he was on picking the Lobos to win 6 games, but then I'm the new Lobo fan. Maybe I didn't look at the past too much. But the question I have, is it too optimistic to think now they're going to win 6 games to get to a bowl? And the offensive line problems that you're talking about, did they keep everybody from last year? Who did they lose on the O-line from last year? And then I want to ask you something else.
Well, they lost the tackles from last year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they did lose some people. I guess for me, it's just giving it time, like 2 or 3 years to really get something going and built up. Like I said, I'm brand new to Lobos and looking at, how they did in their past. But do you think they're going to win 6 games this year?
I think it's going to be a real challenge to win 6 games now.
Win 6, yeah. I guess I was too optimistic. Great weekend of sports. Cowboys won, beat a bad team. That's what you should do to a bad team. Maybe not a very good Giants team. Everybody seems like they're clicking on fillers. Diggs looks like he's like I said. I think he might be the best defensive back or corner in the league. And I love how he did the old Dion thing where he kind of baited the quarterback, made him seem like the guy was open, and then he made up with that speed and got back and got that interception. That was crazy. Buffalo looks really good. That defense looks tough, especially shutting down Kansas City. Brady's Brady. He's going to do his thing. But I'm happy with the win. But we did beat a bad Giants team. I'm not going to get
you beat them up. I mean, you're supposed to beat that team, especially without their quarterback and without their running back and without 3 of their receivers. Yeah, you're supposed to beat them. So good win. Move on.
But when they play New England next week, I want to see more against Belichick because Brady's going to come out with a game plan against Dak. That will be interesting to see. And then I love what's happening in college football right now. When is the last time you saw Cincinnati in the top 4?
Never.
Never. This is great. Never. I love the parity, and I hope they go to 8 teams in the next couple of years or so. But Cincinnati and Iowa, I mean, this is great. I love seeing these guys come up and show they can do something. And I'm going to say right here, go Cincinnati, national champions.
A lot of people feel that way. Thanks, Tommy.
See you guys. Bye.
See ya. All right, that opens up one line. Man, we're cooking today. 505-246-0610. Howard, good morning. Hello, Howard.
Good morning, guys. I'm going to briefly touch on the Cowboys. In the past, that's a game that they would lose, and I am, very thoroughly impressed with Trayvon Diggs, and they won that game thoroughly. The biggest thing I take away from that game is I hope Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley are okay, because while I am a fan of the Cowboys, I'm a bigger fan of the game, and you hate to see anybody's livelihood or health jeopardized. I hope those guys are all right. Now I'm going to jump in on global football. Leo, if you want to take your ball and go home, go on ahead. There's going to be a lot of people that do that, and that's okay. I mean, I'm going to reflect on the fact that the Lobos have won 4 games in a row. Yeah, they lost a tough one to UTEP, but that's a good football team, right?
Well, they're not bad. I don't know if we'll see. They're 2-0 in their league. They just went on the road and won somewhere where they typically don't. They're getting better. Can we give them that? I mean, they're kind of on the path that you want to be on. Have they beaten anybody astronomical? No, but they're 2-0 in their league. They're 5-1 overall. Their one loss was on the road at Boise State. Like, are they a great football team? No, but JJ, would you call them a decent to good football team now?
Yes.
Yeah, they're a decent team. Yeah. And JJ, you called it Friday. I was looking at the matchups, and you called it. Boise State over Brigham Young. Good call. Yeah. But, I'm also going to just reflect on the fact that the 4 wins, I mean, it's been a tough going for them, but also you were on the field with the Texas A&M team, and you had some glimpses of good football against Texas A&M, who just stumped our number 1 ranked team in the nation. I'm going to extract every positive I can about this football team. And, I hear so much talk about Danny Gonzalez, and Rocky Long's name is mentioned way too much. This is Danny's team. And give this guy a break, people. And let him build what he's going to build. He's trying to not just build a football program. He's trying to build a culture of winning here in Albuquerque, and let the guy have his opportunity. Thanks for taking my call this morning.
All right, thanks, Howard. All right, we're back to the phones. I got two lines open if you want to get in at 505-246-0610. And again, you can get in on the Cowboys. You can get in on the NFL stuff, and certainly on local football, because I get the frustration. I get it. But to think they're not on the right path, I think you're wrong. And it's okay. You can say, they got beat by a nationally ranked team, 31-7 this weekend. One of the 13 undefeated teams in America. They got beat by a better team this weekend. You ready to throw it in? You ready to move on? It'd be a big mistake. Last time you told me this guy wasn't good enough. Well, not the last time. But you had a guy like this in Rocky Long, and he was winning bowl games and going to bowl games and being bowl eligible every year. Well, it wasn't good enough. Be careful. Just be really, really careful. 2 lines open at 505-246-0610. All in Autographs is spectacular. In fact, I'm taking a New Mexico Bowl event. We're going to bring our executive board up there for an event. It's a museum that is right here in our backyard. It is Albuquerque's premier sports and memorabilia collectible destination at 2225 Wyoming Avenue Northeast, just south of Wyoming in the Hoffmantown Plaza. You can call them at 504-7575. And I'm strongly suggesting just take a look at their website, allinautographs.com, and look at what they've got there. It's not only sports memorabilia, it's entertainment and music and history stuff that you will find nowhere else. If you love trading cards or collecting cards, go there as well. And then ask them about their VIP membership. You will get not only the newsletter every month, but you get invited to cigar nights and whiskey nights and get to hang out with the celebrities that they bring in on a monthly basis. And you'll just enjoy yourself. Tell them that that you heard about it here on The Sports Animal, that I told you about them. And when you go into the store to get something, you'll get $25 off your purchase of $100 or more. This place is spectacular. Go in and take a look at them. It's All in Autographs, 2225 Wyoming Northeast. Albuquerque's premier sports memorabilia and collectible destination.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments.
Show is up next at 10, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Bienvenido, Gato Estefi. That's what this says from Dan. Jeffrey, Juan Jose, y no Ana Maria. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on the award-winning OD, but it sure doesn't sound like a dislocated elbow is something you're going to be able to recover from to take a beating in a D1 football game 6 days later. He's saying don't count on Terry Wilson. That's from Dan. He's playing. Yeah, you kind of are playing a doctor on the OD. You kind of are. All right, let's go. 2 lines open. One line open now. One line. 505-246-0610. Grady, good morning.
Lobo Curse Busters.
Curse.
Of the OD in the AM. What's happening?
Curse Busters.
So let me talk about college football real quick. I get a chuckle out of these upsets, right? And what happens is, oh my goodness, who would have seen this coming? And it's parity and all these things. And it's really what it is if there's so much parity, if these teams can lose and or win when they're not expected to, I don't know, maybe just maybe this glorified BCS system that we have isn't what we need to have. So is it out of the realm of possibility that a 2-loss conference champion could beat an undefeated conference champion, or that a undefeated group of 5 could actually, I don't know, maybe play with or beat an undefeated Power 6 conference champion? So all this parity, quote-unquote, to me is just another reason that there should be a true playoff, not this 12-team garbage, an 8-team playoff, what we've talked about many times before. And you should just go from there. It's amazing what people will say and do once they're proven wrong. Once the eye test and their guess and their judgment of bad losses and good wins, and they rank these things on paper, once that doesn't work out, it's amazing some of the excuses that they'll come up with to keep other teams out to try to make sure that they still look good and are somewhat right. So, that to me, this past weekend was a great example of college football is unpredictable, and they still play these games out on the field versus on paper. And a quick side note, Spencer Rattler, there's a team in southern Arizona where you're from that could really use a quarterback. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Kind of are.
And talk about the Lobos real quick. And I agree with a lot of what's been said. Don't give up, be realistic. And I realize that realistic and Lobo fans, those two words aren't necessarily used in the same sentence quite a bit. Here's one thing. Coach Gonzalez will give it to you straight. He's a straight shooter. He's honest. And don't always take just the negative. So when someone says, oh, they're a straight shooter, they give it to you straight, it's almost always when they're either criticizing themselves or criticizing something else. He's also a straight shooter when he's telling you there's some gains, there's some progress, there are some good things. Don't just believe him on the negative. Believe him on the positive, too, because he is doing things that are turning this team around. So believe the local guy. Believe what he says. And when he's criticizing and he's keeping it straight up real, also believe him when he's saying things positive or moving in the right direction, because he's keeping it just as straight up and just as real with his analysis from that point as well.
See you. It's good. He doesn't hand out a lot of praise just to hand it out. No, Grady, good stuff. Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Straight shooter means both ways. All right, Tad, what says you? Good morning, Tad.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to excel, sir. How you doing?
I want to revert back to a conversation that we had, I guess, a week or two ago, probably 2 weeks ago. And that was the AL Manager of the Year discussion we had. And, back then we were talking about the fact that, as I told you then, I thought Scott Service deserved AL Manager of the Year. And, I clearly believe, even though we're moving on to the playoffs, he truly deserved it. I mean, back then when I made the phone call, they were 2 games back, and to think that 3 days before the end of the regular season, this guy put them as in a tie for the wild card.
Them being the Mariners.
position.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, them being the Mariners. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's sensational with a team that just didn't do any moves at the trade deadline. And I just wanted to reiterate, I really think, I hope he's the one who deserves it. And the gentleman who called after me about, Cora made a very good point, and he might be right. He might, too, arguably be it. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. That I still believe Scott Service did a phenomenal job for the season and deserves it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tad.
Thanks.
I mean, there's an argument to be made there. There is. Where were the Mariners? Where'd they come from? Why were they still there on the last day of the year? Bruin James squeaked one out over Arizona the other night.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Just it was a gorgeous weekend for sports, and you have the Dodgers 1-1 with the Giants, and then you have all the sports going on. Man, it was just a plethora of sports this weekend. But the one thing there's a couple things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They are out of there. They lost 2 losses. They're gone. The Texas-Oklahoma game. That's why I want to have the air raid offense, because I have no defense. And it was just incredible watching that game, man. I was just unbelievable. Yeah, maybe UNM can call Spencer Rattler, because he needs JOB now. Later, guys.
See ya. Then people would be really pissed, and they'd be telling me how Isaiah Chavez got thrown under the bus if he brought in Spencer Rattler. Right?
That is correct.
See how long he's out of a JOB, too. Let's see how long. Art, good morning. How are you, Art?
Hey, how you doing, hombre? I'm doing okay, man.
Good,
First, I just wanted to comment a little bit. I agree with our attorney that just talked as far as with Coach Gonzalez. I think he's doing a hell of a job considering what he has to cook with. My question is, and I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems as if Terry, the kid from Kentucky, it just seems like even though he got hurt, his focus is just not there. He's very indecisive, and he says he trusts his players, but I don't really see that with some of his play. And, at this point, if he's banged up, I would rather see Trejo as a receiver, like a Cordero Stewart type of player for UNM. And I think this offense might respond a little bit better with Chavez in there.
Interesting.
Because the kid has already proven and he's already gained their trust. And I'll listen up, Jeff, but have a blessed Monday. Thank you.
Thanks, Art. So I don't know that I think that Terry's indecisive. I think he's quite decisive. He may be quick. He may be – I don't know that he trusts him as much. I think he's getting ready for bad things to happen. But so he says – so what happens if they run Isaiah Chavez out there this weekend and get beat? What was the score? This was 31-7. Let's pull the score out, 31-7. Mm-hmm. What? Then what? Then where are you going?
Development.
I mean, but where are all these people who want Isaiah Chavez? First of all, is he ready? If he's missed 6 weeks, do you really want to throw this young man out there? I get it. I saw what you saw at the end of last season, too. It was amazing. Great story. Loved it. He was back last week full boat. If he's missed 6 weeks, do you really want to throw this young man out there?
What people are saying is they're not asking Isaiah Chavez to come in and be a quarterback. They're just asking Isaiah Chavez to come in and run around for his life.
That's what it sounds like, right? That's what Terry Wilson's been doing.
And just make plays on the run.
Okay. All right. I think does your gut tell you no Terry Wilson this week?
Right now, I would put him as doubtful.
Okay. Yeah, Danny sounded like he's really hoping that he plays. Yeah. And we'll see. I think by Tuesday they get an idea. All right. I got a bunch of emails. Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. JJ@sportsanimalabq.com. Stephanie's producing on the radio side. Adrian's producing on the TV side. You can watch us on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. The text line is open, as is the Quan's Auto Care hotline. They're the same number, 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
A healthy, focused Chandler Jones is a bad, bad man. In fact,
the energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From Laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Interesting Monday morning here in the OD after we saw Alabama go down to A&M and OU Texas go to the wire, and the Ole Miss Arkansas game was insane. And then a weekend in Sunday like we saw. By the way, most bizarre ending on Sunday was it Green Bay. There were 5 field goals missed in a row. Bang, bang, bang.
And the best was Cincinnati's kicker thinking that he hit the game when he's like,
What
yeah.
do you mean? No, it went right there. No, dude.
No, you need to watch it the whole way there. It missed.
It missed. And I feel for Detroit. I don't know a lot of Detroit fans. We have a couple in this show, but boy, it was brutal. It was. I thought Detroit came back and they had the guts to go for 2 to win the game instead of going to overtime. And whoopsie. And Viking fan had to be thinking, we're going to miss this one too, because that's how they lose games. All right, Gopher says, do we find out this week if Montez is the quarterback of the future or if Gonzalez is going to have to go find another mercenary to get him through 2022. If you think you're going to find out in a guy's first start, I mean,
you're crazy.
I think you're crazy. Like, are you really going to make a decision? Now you'll see. Is there something there? Is there not something there? But I mean, if you're going to make a decision, throwing a guy out behind that offensive line and making a decision, is he the quarterback of the future, or you're going to give up on him? I think that's incredibly unfair. Now you're going to get an idea what you got, but I mean, he's still running behind that same offensive line. Therein lies your issue, boys and girls. Ken, good morning. How you doing, Ken?
Good morning, guys. Good, thank you. The way I'm kind of approaching this year for Lobo football is real big picture because I've been here for so long and watched and followed Lobo football my entire life. It always goes back to Rocky Long's statement on the way out the door when you need a miracle worker here to win. And so I absolutely think the world of Gonzalez. I think the world of Rocky Long. I think that was an incredible hire. If we can't get this thing turned around in year 3 or 4, then I don't know who you can get to come here to kind of get this as a winning program, competitive in the Mountain West. Gonzalez is the guy. Gonzalez will get us there if it is possible. And so that's the way I look at it. I look at it that this is really a watermark for this program because everything's in place as a coaching staff goes. The enthusiasm's there in the coaching staff. This man is the right hire. But if he doesn't turn this thing around, because I don't see it right now turning around. When I saw that Air Force game, I watched every single down because I've been sick. So I just sat in front of my TV set and I watched every single down. And for a Lobo fan, that's hard to do when you see your team getting beat up. I mean, I usually would just turn it off because I don't like to see my team get beat up. But I was sick, so I watched every single down. I did not see improvement. I just didn't. And then I watched the San Diego State game, and believe me, I am optimistic. I love Gonzalez. I think the man is the right man for the job again. But I saw first downs running up the middle. I saw Wilson trying to throw into double coverage, choosing the wrong receivers.
Did you see improvement defensively against San Diego State? The game, did you see improvement defensively? You feel any better about that?
Yeah, No.
He gone?
To get to where we need to go, we need to improve on all sides of the ball,
Correct.
and I don't see that at all so far with offense.
100%.
Now, defense, you look at the points per game given up. You look at how many points we gave up to Air Force, how many points we gave up to
on the field all day.
San Diego State. So it's we're giving up still a lot of points, and there's needs to be improvement there as well, obviously. But my point is not kind of nitpicking each game, which it's easy to do, and we should at some point. But I'm looking at the entire picture. If this does not get better by year 3 or 4, and we're still looking at 4 wins, 2 wins, then I don't know what we can do to get this thing turned around to where we can just be competitive in the Mountain West, where we can beat Air Force. We can, and the next week, we can compete with San Diego State and maybe beat them. I don't see who you would hire at that point because we have the dream team right now. So anyway, thanks, guys.
No, I appreciate it. Ken's fair. And I think you got to get better next year. I think you're going to get better by the end of this year and get better next year. I think to me, this is where I am with this program. Defensively, I don't have a ton of concerns. I think you're going to get better with better players, better recruiting, and the system. Jeff, they gave up 31 points. Yeah, I got it. They're out there all day. Your offense. I mean, you have the drive chart on this one. I mean,
absolutely.
Last week you were telling me 3 and out, 2 and fumble, whatever. They're out there all day again, right?
Yeah. So on the day, 9 punts and 2 turnovers for New Mexico.
And
get this, the Lobos are tied with Vanderbilt with 41 punts. That's the most of.
Well, there you go. You're leading the nation in something. I mean, to me, the offense is really. You win championship with defense, and I get it, but the offense has got to get better. It just does.
That's the biggest disappointment. The defense is good enough to compete at the level people expected this team to compete at this season. When we're talking about could they get to 4 or 5? Could they be sniffing a bowl game at the end of the season? They have those players defensively. It's the fact that they have zero offensive production since New Mexico State.
And it's been on the line, don't you think? I mean, I guess, typically you always want to point at the quarterback, and I understand. I understand what the position is. I understand what it means. I think we all do. Quarterback can't do it by himself. I tell you, put Mahomes back there behind that line. Where's he going? Young man's running for his life. And he got broken the other day. And, I hate sitting here and just ripping on these guys, and I hope they've regressed. The offensive line has regressed. And how many times have you heard in football, and I think for as long as any of you have been watching football and listening to people talk about football, you've heard anybody who understands the game say it starts in the trenches, right? Who's going to control the line of scrimmage? And how are you supposed to win when that's the production you're getting out of that position? So, look, you want to put Isaiah Chavez back there. He's been out for 6 weeks with protocol, and now you're going to put him behind that same line. If you think it's going to get better, I think you're wrong. But we're going to see what happens this week. But for those of you, and I think it's very few who are ready to just rinse this whole thing again. I think you're.
I would hope that. I don't know why it got here. I think you can be frustrated, but this is not, oh no, we need to change coach type of situation. Not at all. The offense has been very disappointing, and there is a reality to it of, when Danny is talking about, hey, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You've been hit in the face with some of those realizations over the last few weeks, and I think it's just a lot of frustration from Lobo fans that say, well, why not us? And why is it just really 1 year that UTEP is able to take a step forward?
It's been a few
over New Mexico. So I think a lot of people are just asking, why couldn't it have been us improving this season instead of having to, here we go, it's a rebuild.
Brian, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Jeff, how are you doing?
Good, Brian. How you doing?
Good. Hey, yeah, I'm not ready to, trash the program. I know the saying gets old. We've heard it a lot. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but it really is. I think they'll get a turnaround. Don't know when. I sure hope it's, soon. I missed most of the show this morning, so I don't know. This might have already come up. What is the offensive coordinator? What can they do with the resources they have to move the ball? Can they do screens, short passes, whatever, to back the defense up? Because these kids they're all D1 players. They're good athletes, whether they're sophomores or seniors, And I believe that we've got the right coaches and we've got some good players. It's just going to take a little bit of time. We've been down so far. Coach Davey, I don't want to really trash him, but man, he left the program at a pretty low point again, an exiting coach. So, I don't know. A lot of this might have already been covered.
No, that's good, Brian. And we'll hit that. No, I appreciate the call. Thanks. And before we hit the break, so what if you're Derek Warrenheim, what are you doing? Are you trying to get the ball? What are you doing, knowing that you've got an offensive line that's really struggling?
You've seen them try to do those things, even on the swing passes, they're getting blown up quickly. It's because you can stack the box and you don't have to give them any cushion, and so you can take away everything at the line of scrimmage right now in New Mexico.
All right, two lines open. We'll get to as much as we can. We get back. I take this final break. 505-246-0610. Glad you're with us on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From the laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact.
Fair 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
A lot of content today. The text line says if anyone wants the Lobo head coach fired right now, that's ludicrous. Give him 2 to 3 more years. I don't think a lot of people want. I think it's a very small minority. But minorities tend to be vocal. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Terry, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. Had to kind of chime in with the Mariano Rivera producers making a guest appearance today. Stephanie, it's always good to hear her voice. I'll just do the highlights. Eckler being carried into the end zone, that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll be able to take a knee at the end. Cincinnati kicker, yes. You're not playing horseshoes, so close doesn't count. And Arkansas, Mississippi game, I thought they were maybe using red cards on defense because it didn't look like either team was playing 11 guys on defense as quickly as the ball was going up and down the field. And just imagining Lobos, the Alabama fans, I see this one website, the sky has fallen for Alabama. Whoa, those poor fans, their life is so bad. And maybe JJ, after you're seeing the kickers, maybe get Austin out there. Maybe you want him to play in the Premier League, but maybe if he starts working on field goals, he can get himself a job in the NFL pretty soon, even at his young age. So, like I said, nice to see Stephanie make a guest appearance, and you guys have a great day.
See
and
you.
The sun will still come up for Lobo football tomorrow.
And
Take care.
set beautifully, like it did the other night. You got them ready to go?
Kickers.
Yeah, kickers.
Go.
Hello, Vince.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, Lobo fans, just got to stay the course. Someone made mention of UTEP turning things around in a year.
It
Now,
wasn't a
it's
year.
been a 4 or 5 year
Yeah,
plan.
Yes, yes.
You know, Dimmel, when he inherited the program, and I really like Sean Kugler a lot, but he inherited, I mean, the cupboard was bare. Same thing now. I mean, you know, the cupboard was bare when Gonzalez took over. And I'm not to disparage any of the players on the Lobo team right now, you know, but the depth and quality is just not there. That's going to come from a couple more seasons of recruiting. I'm seeing some things that they're doing, and this is what I first noticed at UTEP started turning things around. Fundamentals improved.
Yep.
You know, the blocking, the tackling, those types of things. Those are the building blocks. And then you add depth and you add talent and you add the skill positions, and then you get the details down. So, Lobo, stay the course. Don't even talk about changing coaches. You've got the right pair in place here. I know there's a lot of points being scored the last couple of weeks. One of those is a novelty offense that you'll only see once a year that everybody has trouble with. You know, the other one is just a superior team at this point. And when your defense stays out there for as much as they do, they're going to give up some points eventually. So Lobo fans got to stay the course. Let's get back out there. Let's root these guys on. There's some teams. There's still some wins on this remaining schedule left, and get behind them. Stoked about my Miners being 5-1, winning a conference game.
That they don't win,
on the
man.
road.
Yeah, did you watch them? Did you watch them? Because I watch them pretty closely. Defensively, they're pretty stout, and they don't rely on Hardison. The Cowing, the kid, the receiver, is legitimate fast. Their running back is pretty good, and they went down to Southern Miss. They don't win that game the last decade.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I'll be honest with you, I did a 5-team parlay, and I bet against them because that's how much I didn't believe in them. And you know, shame on me for that. But listen, the defense really stepped up. And I tell you what, we don't have a better defensive guru than our defensive coach at the Lobos. So, you know, he's a master. Just give him some years, let some talent develop, and we'll be there. But stay in there, Lobo fans. We'll get there.
Thanks, Vince.
Thanks, guys.
I watched UTEP actually quite a bit the other night. I was impressed with what they did defensively. New Mexico quarterback and Gavin Hardison, who makes good decisions. They don't rely on him to do a bunch. Now, let's see what happens when they're having to play from behind. They got Louisiana Tech this week, who's tough. They're going to start going through some of the meat of their conference. They still have UAB on the schedule. They still have North Texas. They still have UTSA, who I think UTSA may be the best team in that league. But watching them defensively, they look so different than they have. And what Dana Dimel's done there, is this his third or fourth year? Like, and they stuck with that because it got lean down there for a couple of years, and they stuck with it, and they decided, here's a guy that wants to be here, and we're going to do it the right way, and they've stuck with Dana Dimel on this, and they're starting to see some things pay off. I don't know, where does it end up? We'll find out. But I think that's not a bad football team. Everybody's kind of pointing at that one as how do we lose that game? Guys, they're not. They're a couple of years ahead of you.
It's his fourth season.
They're okay. Yeah. So they're 2 years ahead of you on the rebuild. Yeah. And I got it, man. You want this thing to happen right now, and I do too. And nobody wants it more than your coaching staff. Is it possible that they just did a hell of a job at the end of last year and got more out of these guys than they had any right to? Because the whole thing of how did they look so good last year? They beat Wyoming by a point, and they beat Fresno State. They went physical to physical with them, and it was. I thought the momentum carried in the offseason was great. Well, they got most of those guys back. They do, and they got a better quarterback, and so why? And it's the offensive line. But Is it possible they just did a great coaching job at the end of last year and got more out of that team than they should have? Maybe stole a couple of games?
Yes. And was throughout the season improving and getting better. And it's we're just going to pick up where he left off. A lot of people thought that. You started the season 2-0. You saw some warts in the second half, but you say it's early in the season. You feel you can get through that. I just don't think anyone, and you heard it from Danny Gonzalez, just no one expected the offensive line to underperform to this extent.
All right, thank you to Danny Gonzalez for being with us. Doug Martin will be with us tomorrow. We will we'll talk to the New Mexico State coach after their loss at Reno, and they're on a bye week this week. Jim Rome Show is next. Colin Cowherd, the Herd, comes up after that. ABQ Central with the afternoon drive this afternoon, leading into Monday Night Football, which is Indianapolis and Baltimore. Trulio comes in after that with True to the Game. Steph, you're producing that one too?
Yes,
Holy smokes, you got a day. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Steph, great work. Thanks for coming in and pinch hitting today.
Thank you for having me.
Adrian, always great work. Big day for you today?
Huge day.
Oh, it's just huge. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Dear Exit Strategy, let's pick the perfect...
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Dreaming about that brand new Subaru? You know which one you want, but have you been able to really drive one yet? Whether you're online at fiestasubaru.com or ready to get out and drive the real thing, our Subarus are sanitized and ready to drive. There's never been a better time to fall in love with your new Subaru. So get driving now at Fiesta Subaru on Lomas or online at fiestasubaru.com to schedule your real test drive.
I prefer to do stuff online. I can find things much quicker, do the research I need, and have it shipped or waiting for me to pick up. The Shop by Payments option was perfect for me. I got online, clicked on Shop by Payments, put in my down payment and monthly budget, and the guessing was done. From laptop, I was able to nail down the bike I wanted, add a few customizations, and get an estimate on my trade-in.